Welcome to my presentation about Stoic automation testing. At the beginning, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Maros, and I'm QA technical lead. I work at NES Digital Engineering, and I'm located in city Košice in Slovakia, the east part of Slovakia. So I'm not a developer, I'm a tester. I work more with Java, not so much with JavaScript, and I will today try to connect philosophy or Stoicism specifically with IT, so I hope it will be interesting for you. And here you can see contacts on me on LinkedIn or Twitter, so do not hesitate to contact me. Agenda of my today's presentation. So at the beginning, I would explain or introduce Stoicism as a way of thinking, and basically how we can connect it to our work, our core and technical skills. Then I will choose 10 Stoic principles, a little bit explain them and try to connect them with our daily work with automation testing, but yes, it can be also related to development, anything in IT, and some key takeaways. So let's look at the Stoicism. Maybe you heard about it, or at school you learned about it, and maybe you were thinking that it is some boring, ancient philosophy, and maybe it cannot be applied to our day-to-day lives. So it was same for me, but then I started to learn or read some books, and I found out that it's not so boring, but not so theoretical, but very practical. And I was thinking about if we can apply some of these principles in our day-to-day life, in IT, testing, or also in development. So let's introduce some Stoic philosophers, which quotes I use. So first one is Seneca. Seneca was the richest man in the Rome, and he was also the philosopher, and he wrote a couple of books, for example, Letters to Lucilius. Another one is Epictetus. Epictetus was at the beginning the slave, but then when he got free and he was also a Stoic philosopher, he never wrote any book, but his students captured his knowledge, and we can read now the book. It's called Discourses by Epictetus. And the last one, the most famous one, Marcus Aurelius. You know him, for example, from movie Gladiator at the beginning. And he was the most influential person in the world at the time, and he was the Roman emperor. And he wrote just some notes for himself, some diaries, never meant to be published, but they remained, and we can read them now like meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And now we are in the Vienna, and it's maybe symbolic because Marcus Aurelius died in Vienna in 180. It was not called Vienna at the time, it was, I think, Vindebena or something like this. Yes, and it was like a Roman military camp somewhere here near the city center. And we can still see Marcus Aurelius in Vienna. If you go to the city center, this Ankeruhr, and I think the first figure is Marcus Aurelius. Each hour they change them. So yes, the city of Marcus Aurelius is Vienna. Okay, so how we can connect this philosophy with IT? So on one hand, as testers, developers, we should be good at hard skills, like some programming language, JavaScript, Java, some tool for UI testing, Selenium, Cypress, Playwright, maybe some BDD tool like Cucumber. We should be good at Git or Jenkins, continuous integration, and so on. On the other hand, we should have the good soft skills, like we should be good team players, good communicators, creative, good leaders, and so on. And maybe how to everything join together, maybe some way of thinking or some philosophy over it to connect it. And here you can use Stoicism, for example. Okay, so let's look at some of these quotes and try to connect them with our work in IT. So first one is about control and choice, and Epictetus wrote that the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters So we can clearly say which are external, not under our control, and which are under our control. And this is one of the main Stoic principles, to focus on the things which we can change and do not focus on the things which we cannot change. Okay, so imagine, yes, you are testers and you are testing some application. Also, developers will also maybe sometimes test the application. So maybe we cannot focus how many bugs are there in the application, but we can focus which tools we use and which tools we will use in our framework. So imagine we have some cucumber top layer of the framework, and we are using Selenium for functional testing. But why not to use some visual UI testing, like for example, capture the screen of the application and compare with some baseline. So we can use, for example, Percy from Browser Stack, like one of the tools, or we can use some other tools. For example, we can use ApplyTools Eyes. We can also use, for example, some tools for API testing, like Karate Framework, or we can use, for example, Report Portal for analysis of automation test results. But the main point here is just focus on the things which are under control, so the tools or the types of testing which we can use. Another principle is trust by verify. So Epictetus said that first off, don't let the force of impression carry you away, by say to it, hold up a bit and let me see who you are, and let me put you to the test. And again, we as human beings, we many times very quickly decide according to our previous experience that something is good or is bad, and maybe sometimes we should think about from other perspective or other point of view, and maybe our decision will be different. Imagine you are testing API, and in this API testing, you have two failures, and these failures from the high level, they seem similar, that you are expecting status code 400, but in the first test you are getting some status code, in the second is maybe different. So always it's good to check also the second failure, because yes, from the first side it may look that the root cause can be same, but at the end maybe there is different root cause. Okay, so this is how we can apply this principle. Another principle this is from Marcus Aurelius, from Meditations, is if you find something very difficult to achieve yourself, don't imagine it's impossible. For anything possible and proper to another person can be achieved also by you. So basically, we can divide people into two groups. The first thing, for example, if somebody is successful, one group will say that why he was successful, why not me? Okay, and the second group will say he was successful. Okay, so what I can do in order I'm also successful. Okay, so let's try to be this second group, and imagine that we have. I'm using as an example Report Portal. I don't know if you know this tool, Report Portal IO. It's tool for automatic analysis of results, and maybe on the other project in your company it was successfully implemented. So why not to try to do it also in our project? So this tool is about imagine that you have 10 failures today. you will do some analysis. You will assign each failure to some root cause, and next day the results will come to the system, and this tool will for you divide them according to previous analysis to some categories. So you will need to, if you have 10 failures yesterday, you analyze them. You have 12 today, so you will look just on these two one. So again, this is how we can apply this. If it was successful in some other company, so we can ask them. Maybe it's not so difficult, and also we can be successful. Another one is again from Marcus Aurelius, that about focusing on the present. So he wrote that don't let reflection of the wall sweep of life crush you. Don't fill your mind with all the bad things that could happen, but stay focused on the present. And maybe you also remember from your previous experience that there were some hard times and you were able to solve some very difficult problem. And maybe the reason was that you were not thinking about all the complexity or all the bad things that could happen, but you focused on just this one problem and one time, and you successfully solved it. I have an example, let's try if it will work, about creation a new API test using Karate framework. And again, imagine you have some complicated end-to-end test when you need to combine more endpoints in one scenario. So how we can use this principle, so not at the beginning focus on everything what needs to be done, just Karate framework is a very good framework when you don't need to code anything in any programming language. You just add dependency. If you are using Maven dependency, and you just write these Gherkin steps very easily in your IDE, and all the, in this example, Java code is coming from the library. So you focus on just building the scenario. So yes, at the beginning for API scenario, just specify the application, then the endpoint, and then you write a method which we will use, like we are trying to test some get endpoint. Okay, so we focus at one time just on one step, and we don't think about in advance that how we will connect maybe to some another component in our application. So yes, we can easily, for example, test API, check the status code, or check the data. Yes, the first time we can try it in Postman. So this is how we can be successful with this principle. This can also be applied to development or testing UI or anything else. Okay, the next one is from Seneca, from Moral Letters, and about pretending. Again, one of the Stoic principles is that let's pretend today is the end, so you never know what will happen. So he wrote that let us prepare our minds as we would come to the very end of our life, and let us postpone nothing, and let us balance life book each day. So what does it mean? It's hard to say that, yes, let's imagine that, let's live today as it is last day. It's harder to do it. But for example, like imagine the soldiers when they are going to war, so they never know if they come in one piece. So again, a question, how can we apply this to our IT work? We are not going to wars, but testers are going to war with bugs each day. Let's imagine standard Jira Kanban board that you have like complicated tickets, like doing some POC for new tool, and you have small, simple tasks. And maybe you know this example that sometimes we focus on this smaller, not so important task, but we postpone this complicated task, which can bring maybe some value, but it looks very robust at the beginning, and so we postpone from one sprint to another sprint, and so on. And like again, I have an example of integration. For example, our automation framework with this report portal, which can very help our team to do this using artificial intelligence and machine learning to analyze the results. So why not to imagine that you are the only person which in the team which can do this, and you never know what will happen. You come to tomorrow, next week, or next day. So let's pretend today is the end. Let's focus on this, and maybe you will find out that integration of this tool and any tool or any improvement can be easy, and you will spend 1 or 2 days, but you will help your team for next years. Okay, so I was thinking, yes, maybe this is the way. When, for example, in the morning I choose my tickets, or I'm thinking globally about the if I can select the order of the tickets. Another one, also maybe very philosophical or high level, but let's look at it. What do you have to show for a year? So, many times, an old man has no other evidence beside his age to prove he has lived a long time. Okay, it's from Seneca. And if somebody asks us how long are we here, so we count a number of or number of years, multiply by number of days and hours, and we get to some number. But again, question is if this time was really good, well spent, if we have done everything what we could. And again, if we are in IT, maybe we are experts, or you are experts in some specific tool or some specific edge case, and maybe what we can do, we can share this information, this example of Udemy. So why not to create some course, paid or free, if it's possible, to share this knowledge with higher audience, or why if you have some code which can be shared with others, why not to create some repository in GitHub, or create some community of testers in either on our project, in our company, or in our city, and share this knowledge, and this can be used by other people. So this is also the question which I was asking, and maybe this could be the solution. Another one from Marcus Aurelius is about very simple, that we are going to be okay, or he wrote in his diaries that don't lament this and don't get agitated. So maybe you remember the days, yes, there are some light days, good days, but there are some dark days that, for example, from testing point of view, today I had green builds, okay, but tomorrow I will come and I see hundreds of failures, okay, so I will say, okay, I will not look at it, tomorrow it will be better, but you come to work tomorrow and still same number of failures. So what can we do with this? Yes, I have some example that we have hundreds of failures in the report from this character framework. Yes, so what we can do? So let's try to look at the failures. Yes, it looks at the beginning complicated because we see hundreds of failures, but maybe the root cause of these failures is not 100 root causes, but maybe 3 or 4. And if you look at the stack traces, maybe you will see some patterns that, okay, so I have 20 failures related to one root cause, okay, so try to find the problem, fix the application, deploy, run the test again, and maybe I will get half of this. And by this way, maybe at the end of the day, you will know that, okay, we have fixed 2 problems, and just we need to update one library or one method in our framework, and it will fix the rest of the failures. Another one, again from Epictetus, is choosing the outcome, and he said that about somebody that he was sent to prison, but the observation he has suffered evil is an addition coming from you. And this is also important and can be applied to us, that things are not bad or good, but they are indifferent. And just we as a people are giving meaning to the things, okay? So something happened, and for someone it can be good, for somebody it can be better. Or we don't know at the beginning, something bad happens to you, but then you try something else, or you are fired out of your company and you maybe find a better job. And again, I have an example from like team perspective. We have some Jira board, and you know the situations maybe also that it's Friday, end of the sprint, and still a couple of tickets remaining. So big pressure on the team. So in the morning it looks bad, right? We have some ticket for example, updating some automation tests, again, doing some POC, creating new tests, or some Jenkins node is not working, so we need to maybe fix something on Jenkins. And again, so let's try to split the work, maybe do some pair work, and try to our best, and maybe we'll be surprised, and at the end of the day, almost everything will be done, or maybe just one ticket will remain. And thing which looked bad at the beginning is not so bad, so we found out that we are a good team, we have a power, and we can work together. So again, we find out that it was just the thing, and it was not bad, it was not good. It depends how we interpret the things. Another one is from Epictetus, and it's about training and winter training. And yes, we will explain what does it mean. And he said that we must undergo a hard winter training and not rush into things for which we haven't prepared. And now, if there is a war, so it's a total war, so it starts and finishes. But in the history, it was just the war was just a set of more big battles. And for example, in winter, soldiers were sent home, and they came back in the spring, and there was another big battle. And it's about this winter training that during the winter, the good soldiers worked on themselves and prepared. Like also example from NBA basketball player LeBron James, you know him? He never had summer break. He was training always, and he was the best. He's still the best. And it seems he will play with his son, not this season, but next season. So he's waiting for his son to play in NBA. He will be on the draft, so maybe another big event this year. We saw some record, so maybe another will be next year. And again, from our IT perspective, I have some examples from the calendar. So we are the testers, yes, you are developers, and yes, we have some vacation, we have some free time, but why not to focus on our skills? So what I am recommended here is put in our calendar, for example, first thing in the morning, do some training, because we know it could be the issue or the challenge. Do it. We have some goals for the year, for quarter, to learn something, but the question is when we can do it. And I think the best thing is do it in the morning before we start work on our tickets, assignments. For example, 20 or 30 minutes, do some courses. For example, for testers, we trying to improve our language, or try some new tool for functional testing. Or maybe if we are working with AWS, do the certification. So try to study something in the morning and do it each day, and we will improve our skills. And yes, the last one is comparing life to wrestling. Okay, and again from Marcus Aurelius, he wrote that the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, because an artful life requires being prepared to meet sudden and unexpected attacks. Okay, What can this mean for us? Yes, you never know what will come, but from our perspective, okay, so our boss can come and say us that this is top priority, work on this, or anything can happen. And I think the best option how to prepare for this is, again, I will talk about some habits in the morning and in the evening, but in the morning, maybe meditation can help to us, at least for a couple of minutes, prepare our mind, be calm for at least 10 minutes. And also the exercise. I heard from many people that, for example, if something difficult is coming during their day or some big presentation for the client, do some sports, do some workout, go running, and this help people to do good performance in their jobs. So what can help is, if it's possible, not each day, but each second day, do some running in the morning, do some exercising, at least do something in the morning. It's important to be prepared for the day mentally, like do some meditation, also physically, do some exercise and what we can do during the day. So if we go by car to work, maybe listen to some audiobooks or read in the evening, anything. So again, this could be how we can apply, because I think for our for us as IT guys, we sit all day at home or in the office, but I think it's good to do some exercise, and it can improve our performance, our skills. What could be the key takeaways? So we can focus on the things which we can change, not which we cannot change. Don't give up. Believe that we can do anything related to our work. And don't postpone, don't procrastinate. And be prepared for our day at work physically and also mentally. From the resources, so I used meditations from Marcus Aurelius, also discourses from Epictetus, from Seneca, a couple of books. And if you would like to start, because these are, it's a complicated text because old books written a long time ago, but if you would like to start, I think Ryan Holiday, it's an actual author, and he's trying to propagate Stoicism. And there are more books, but Daily Stoic, it's an interesting book. You have just one principle for each day. So I would recommend Ryan Holiday. Yes, Q&A can be later. And thank you for your attention.